I'm not even on that shot.
Oh good. Oh good.
Well, yeah, we're going to put down to the
I love the Adidas, what they're doing at the moment with some of their shoes.
Yeah, it's actually the first pair I've worn.
Hi, I'm Courtney Gilfillan.
And I'm Jack Gill.
I'm a triathlete and a runner.
And I'm a trail runner.
And you're watching us on Run Forest Run
TV.
What's a good tip for anybody just getting into trail running to, if they're coming from the road or the track and they're getting into the trail, what's a good tip for a beginner?
To basically just make sure that you know where the path is going. So the trail, because just know the route, where it's going.
Yeah, and then just get out there and have fun. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
So yeah, basically our good friend Liam had organised to go for a run, me and him, up Kugels, and he messaged me asking if Courtney Gilfillan could come for a run with us. Obviously I had no idea who Courtney Gilfillan or Courtney Gilfillan were at that point.
Which is nice because we didn't know who each other were, which is very unusual in the running world and triathlon.
So yeah, I turned up the next morning expecting to run with Liam and Courtney, and Liam told me Courtney wasn't coming due to the bad weather because she was scared of rain.
That's so not true.
Which I found out since wasn't true, but it was a good story at the time. And yeah, a few months later we ended up meeting, and
yeah, we had fish and chips at Lennox Beach. and then our first proper date was up Page's Pinnacle, which I hadn't been up ever before. It was absolutely beautiful, and been lots of adventures since. I'm a runner since young, and it's my first love. And I've been getting into a little bit of trail running, thanks to Jack helping me out and our friend Liam Mackenzie. Been doing a lot of run with the boys, and we did our first trail race together a few weekends back, trail trips and adventures at Murwillumbah Valley. And how did you find it, Jack?
Yeah, it was a pretty cold start to the morning. But once we got going, the course out there is just absolutely stunning with a few creek crossings, which were obviously rather cold at that time of day. But yeah, we had a really good race, and yeah, it was good to be racing alongside Courtney for the first time.
Yes, we both got the win there, which was really nice for us for our first one, and special. But he gave me a good flogging. He beat me by a bit. So I've just got my first pair of new trail shoes today, so I'm hoping that'll give me a bit more time in our next race in a few weeks' time in Brisbane.
No.
You tried to be
I need a longer shorts.
Donkey!
Skin doesn't slide very well.
Grew up in the country, and I started running from a young age and did athletics and went through to do that quite seriously as an 800 metre and 400 and 400 metre hurdle specialist. Then I fell in love with triathlon, and I went on to have a career in the ITU racing, and then switched over to the 70.3 and have also done my first 2 ever long distance Ironmans. And obviously my love for nature and trails has really come through now in my later years of the sport, and I'm really excited to be on this new adventure of learning new trails and running hills, which I love, and I'm very thankful because Jack has given me that opportunity to run with him and feel safe out in the trails and share them with him. And that brings me over to you.
Yeah, so I grew up in Cumbria around the Lake District over in England. Yeah, always playing a lot of different sports as I was growing up, mainly football, or soccer as you Australians will call it. Also played sort of quite a bit of cricket and different stuff over the years. And as I moved out to Australia, sort of gave up them and moved more into Muay Thai, and have been doing that for roughly about 8 years now. And yeah, just slowly, as I was doing more and more hiking and falling more in love with that, just yes, slowly Yeah, get that in. That's about how training works. Try to carry the water.
So if you're new to trail running, a really great tip is to carry a head torch or a light, just in case you get lost. There's no street signs out there. I had quite an experience the other evening with Jack.
Yeah. It got dark, set off a mid-afternoon run, and luckily we did have a head torch, but yeah, we jumped off the trail onto the road and it wasn't the road we expected. So yeah, ended up bush bashing back through the trails in the dark. Courtney was a little bit scared of the snakes.
Even though it's winter, you still got to be careful. Jack always runs with the snake bandage, which is great.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah, it's a must-have because yeah, the one time you don't have it might be that one time, and yeah, you don't want to end up on the wrong side of the snakes.
Yes, and knowing the trail and the path where you're going, you know, just is really, really important, because every trail ends up looking like each other after a while. So just being really aware of your map before you go.
Progressed to running around the trails, and yeah, eventually realising running we could see a lot more places in one day. So why walk when you can run and enjoy the mountains? Beautiful. Just love it.
So obviously no races or training weeks are done without a team around us. I'm lucky to have some great sponsors over the years with my career. Currently really thankful for Hammer Nutrition, who supplies my training and racing fuel. Obviously Win Republic, all my cycling gear and racing gear. I'm very grateful for the sponsors that stuck by me through the COVID period and some other personal stuff that I've had going on. That's when you really, really appreciate what's given to you and those people being there. And obviously I'm really excited about the season ahead for me, and you know, working with my sponsors and looking at some current new contracts at the moment, which is really exciting. So yeah, how about you, Jack?
Yeah, well, obviously Spring Nutrition, yeah, keep me going through all the races and training, and yeah, always thankful to Wild Earth for keeping me stocked up on all the gear we need whilst out on the trails and camping and all sorts of different adventures. Yeah, and then obviously training partners, Courtney being a very good one of those, and keeping me honest and making sure I get up every morning to do the work required.
And yeah. Jack the same for me. I'm very thankful to have him, and a training partner, stronger runner, pulling me along, and obviously, as I said before, great riding partner. And I think they say, you know, good minds think alike, and obviously both very driven for what's ahead, and loves to eat healthy too, and my organic spring water.
Thank you.
My organic spring water. Yeah.
This is you bringing out your chemistry between you.
Oh,
People are going to love it.
Yeah. Do you like how I put organic spring water? Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
So, well, that's the joke. Like, you know, because this is the thing, everything's organic. Like, I'm everything I'm like organic. And yeah, so I'm like, organic spring water. And then obviously looking into next year, would love to go back to Wanaka, where I was earlier in the year for Challenge Wanaka, and doing a couple of races in New Zealand. Jack would like to do the trail race.
There's Tarawera ultramarathon over there at roughly the same time, so that would be good to tie both them races together in one trip.
Yeah, and then come back for a few races in Australia here, Jack with the trail and me with the triathlon. And then we're looking at hitting up Europe for say 2 to 3 months next year, and again, Jack will do the trail races and I'll be looking at the triathlon races there, and I'm sure I'll be jumping in a few trail races as well, if possible.
Yeah, coming up next for both of us actually is Brisbane Trail Ultra in a couple of weeks' time, up around Mount Coot in Brisbane. We'll both be doing the 30-kilometre race up there, which is predominantly trail with I think around 8 kilometres of road at the end, which will be a nice fast finish to the race and probably suit Courtney and her road running a little bit more.
Yes, I know.
And then later in the year, I don't actually have anything booked in yet, but I'll be heading down to Kosciuszko in December for the Kosciuszko Ultra down there. And other than that, I'll be finding a few more local races to fill in the gap between now and then.
Yeah, and I'll be looking forward to that next trail race, and then I'll be hitting Sunny Coast 70.3 Ironman event into Melbourne 70.3 and then Canberra 70.3. Where we'll be then heading down to Jindy, and I'm going to hit up the trail race to finish the year as well, but the shorter one, the 22k. So yeah, not the 15. So a typical training day consists of swim, bike and run. So basically on Monday will be a strength and conditioning session and a swim session, sometimes a ride. Tuesday, bike intervals and run intervals. Wednesday can vary from a longer ride or longer run. And Thursdays, run, bike. Fridays, swim, strength and conditioning. The weekend, we like to get away out to the trails and hit the hills and really immerse ourselves in that setting, in nature, and we will ride out there as well. Jack rides for cross training, which is great for me. He's like the perfect rider, he's strong. Do a lot of my aerobic rides with Jack. And then we'll do a long run. My long run's a little bit shorter than Jack's when he's doing his full 50k endurance runs, but it's absolutely fantastic because I get pulled along, and obviously I'm learning to climb a lot more, getting a lot more ascent and what do you call it? Gradient in my week. So I'm learning about the hill running and learning the technology and the words for it. So
Terminology.
Terminology. What do you guys call it? How's your week?
Yeah, vertical.
Vertical.
Descent.
So what is your week like?
Mondays mainly for me pretty much a rest day. I generally have a day of doing almost nothing, maybe a little bit of strength. Then Tuesday morning always starts with the quicker interval stuff, and then maybe an easy ride in the afternoon. Wednesdays are generally a midweek long run and maybe even a shorter run in the afternoon. Thursdays are always a good trail run in the afternoon generally, backed up by sort of a longer speed endurance session Friday mornings. And then Saturdays are a longer aerobic ride with Courtney and sometimes a run off the bike. And then Sundays, long trail runs. More hills, the more waterfalls, the better.
You sort of go through life hoping that you'll meet that special someone that shares the same passions and loves as you, and obviously running is something that through a partner that I obviously would love to share with someone, and I met Jack through our friend Liam, who I started trail running with about a year ago, and I was very fortunate to be introduced to Jack. And funny enough, when we were first meant to be introduced, I was introduced as
Courtney Gilfillan.
So we didn't actually end up meeting, but then a few months later we met and sort of had our first dates hiking and running, and actually got taken up to Page's Pinnacle on our first hike, which was absolutely beautiful. I'd never been there, and being on the Gold Coast for so many years, I can't believe I hadn't been there, and I felt very lucky to be taken there. And so that's where our first sort of date was and photo taken, and we've been many places since so far.
Relationship full of adventures.